How is everyone doing today? It is July 23rd of 2024 and have a really exciting pepper to show you. One of the ones I've been most excited about growing in this yard, and this one is called the Jimmy Nardello. I had to look up a little bit of information about it. Let me tell you the information I did look up. It was introduced to the United States by two pepper growers in 1887, it says. So this is definitely an heirloom. It's a sweet no-heat pepper, and it was actually named after their son. They named the pepper after their son, and then it was brought to the United States, like I was saying, in 1887. I would have to say it's a little bit silly of me, but I didn't grow this pepper even though I'd heard so many great things about it for several years. This is only like our third season growing it, and it's one of those peppers that probably is top of the suite for flavor overall and should be hitting our yard every single season. But all the way up until, I'm a sucker for certain things: nostalgia, names, variegation on plants, flavor, usability. There's lots of different reasons that I grow peppers, but for some reason the name or something just kind of steered me away all that time. And then after getting a hold of it and trying it a couple of seasons ago, it's now has to hit the yard every season. Like I was saying, our plants are always doing a little bit wonky, a little bit stunted, so this isn't typical of the grow. You can see there's one growing here, one growing here, one growing up here, and we would get a lot more flowering and stuff. Once we get a pepper, or start getting some peppers off to push the next wave, usually what happens, like the Courbaki that we just did a video on recently, it takes about a week before the plant recovers, and then it'll start putting out flowers. And then, so usually set yourself back a couple weeks when you pull peppers off. And so sometimes with something like this, we're really excited to save seeds on this one as well as have some of it, so we kind of, this grows a little bit stunted. We got a really excellent pod, as you can see on here. I'll have Angel clip that off. It's been ripe for a minute. We're definitely planning on saving seeds. I don't here you go. I don't know if we've left it on there a little bit too long. I was having I did see a comment on my channel recently when I was talking about other peppers and sweet peppers. I referenced this one to like a red apple or a green apple flavor when they're green and a red apple when they're ripe. But they were commenting that they've always felt like it tasted like cherry, and as soon as they said that, it was like my mind just opened up. It was like, of course that's the flavor that I'm getting. I'm hoping that when we try this one right here too, I do get like almost like you take, all peppers taste like peppers. They're all going to taste somewhat degree like pepper, and all tomatoes are going to taste like tomatoes. But if you look close enough, there is flavor variations in there. There is a little bit of a citrusy flavor in a lemon drop pepper. There is a little bit of a peachy flavor in a peach, sugar rush peach flavor. It's like having a pepper with a little bit of that flavor on it. And that's how I remember this one. It was like almost like a sweet fruit. One of the, right now, currently, this is my very favorite sweet pepper. My very favorite as far as flavor. Not for name, not for plant, not for anything else like that, even though they are highly productive. If you're looking for a productive sweet type. This one almost looks like a carrot, huh? Mm-hmm. Right in that part right there. But this is the Jimmy Nardello pepper. It is July 23rd of 2024. A pepper that was introduced in the United States from southern Italy, I believe, in 1887, and named after the pepper grower's kid. So the Jimmy Nardello pepper are number one for flavor, but each year we're always putting these contenders up again to see which one's the best. And we're going to go ahead with this one, take it inside, open it up, probably save seeds, and let you guys know a little bit more about it. So love you guys. Catch you in a second. All right, so the Jimmy Nardello sweet pepper, and this is pretty typical of the shape. We got a little bit of wonky shapes out there and stuff like that because I believe that our grow's a little bit off, but this is the Jimmy Nardello pepper. You want to open it up, hon? It's really red at the bottom there, huh?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna try to open it one way.
I feel like 3/4 of this pepper, 3/4 of the way from the bottom up, have been red for about a week and a half, but the top seemed to be green and kind of going at the last second. Look at that beautiful pepper.
Does have some, like some not too thin walls. I mean, it's pretty decent.
I can already smell it too. Like it's got some pungency to it, but it smells really good. All right, so we'll give Angel to give a first try to it.
Really sweet. And I do see what you're saying about the cherry flavor. It does kind of have a cherry flavor to it.
Yeah, so I brought up that the Jimmy Nardello in one of my past videos, or one of my recent videos, that it had a almost like red apple flavor to it. There is a pepper, the lipstick pepper, that we do have growing that does kind of have that same kind of quality. And so when the commenter was mentioning that they get more of like a cherry flavor, it's like triggered something in my brain that was like, that's what I'm trying to say more than it is apple, because from what I have gotten, this is absolutely got to be the sweet pepper, the sweetest. From the smell of it, this is 1, 2, I'll tell you in just a second, hold on.
It's super sweet. It doesn't have any of that pungent like pepper flavor to it.
No, there's like absolutely no bitterness. Smelling it too, that's what I was noticing. I can smell it really well, but it don't even smell bitter. Like sometimes you can a pepper kind of smells peppery, I guess, like a pepper. But it doesn't really have that smell to it. It's more like a clean smell. Man, and then when you eat it, there's no bitterness to it. That is just sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if up higher here, we're gonna definitely have to save seeds on these, but there's not a lot of seeds in this pepper either.
No.
So we'll definitely be saving seeds on it. I'm wondering if up higher though, if we knock some of these seeds where it was still at the last ripening. I wonder what the difference in that is. We try to test the peppers when they're red. Oh yeah, and like I was saying, this pepper, out of all the ones, usually if you want more sweetness and you want the better quality flavor, you tend to want to let the pepper ripen all the way. Most peppers that we've eaten, and they're pretty good green, but they escalate in the sweetness and the flavor as they turn red. This is one of them too. The Courbaki from the yellow-green, almost pea pod taste, is one that I did a video on recently. When it ripens, it does get a better flavor, but it doesn't. It's to me, it's like going from an 8 to a 10. This one right here is like going from like a 4 to a 10. There's such a big gap in making sure. So if anybody grows this one, I would highly suggest letting some of them ripen and trying them ripe if you want to get the very best out of this. Sometimes I'll say maybe a pepper isn't that bad green in comparison. It is a little bit better red. This one right here, I don't even want to touch them when they're green, just because it's so much better red. Yeah, even up higher where it was last turning red on and ripening, has like no bitterness. It is super, super good flavor. It's a sweet flavor. If anything, it's just maybe not as sweet, but it definitely still doesn't even have bitterness up on the green part of it and stuff.
It has a nice fruity flavor to it. So I can see with the cherry flavor, it does have that hint of cherry flavor to it, and it's really good. It's really good pepper.
And when it comes to sweet peppers, I probably have tried 40 different varieties. And as far as growing them, I've probably grown 20 or 30 different varieties. Out of all the sweet peppers I have ever grown, in this moment, hands down, this is the very best flavored one. This is my very, very favorite sweet pepper currently. I'm always like open to negotiation on which ones I feel are better. because of the fact that each season there's different things that excite me, different things I might be looking for. I can see a place where I might go out in the yard and rather snack on a Courbaki pepper or maybe some sort of other type of sweet pepper rather than this one sometimes, but this one right here overall more times than not is going to win out on one that I would like to try. They're a little bit bigger pepper. It's kind of hard to grab a pepper that size and just snack on it. You definitely could, and we definitely do when we get an opportunity, but it's, you know what I mean, it's compared to the Courbaki, which is like a snack stick, or maybe other small peppers that are like poppers. This is similar to like a banana pepper. You can munch on them, but they also work really well since there's so much pepper there to dice up for no heat salsas, things like that. But I absolutely love the flavor of this. Hands down, it is my very favorite flavored sweet pepper. And it has almost like a fruity taste, almost like a similar to cherry. And that really, really escalates when these turn red. So like I was saying, I would highly advise if anybody grows this one to not judge it on the green, not try them green and judge it based on that, because when they're green they do taste it a little more of the typical green sweet pepper kind of flavor, but once they hit the red it's like all that bitterness and all that like pepper flavor almost leaves, and it's almost just like a really, really clean taste. So
Yes.
and fruit like almost like cherries, like you're taking a piece of that pepper and taking a piece of cherry, putting it on there, eating that. That's what it kind of tastes like. The pepper's still the main flavor that's in there, but a lot of the bitterness or floral flavors that can come in a lot of peppers isn't in this one like at all. I can't taste it at all. And each person's personal experience may be different. Maybe you'll grow this one and you'll try it, and for some reason yours will come out really bitter, or it'll be a flavor that you're not really into. Some people, for instance, we really like the sweet flavors of peppers like this. Some people more like the vegetable style flavor, which would be a profile that's completely different than this one. So I could see how this wouldn't be some people's very favorite. And there's another really good contender out there, the lipstick, that's coming up pretty soon too. There's a couple more sweets that are out there that I'm really excited to give this one a run for its money, but it's really hard because there's certain peppers and tomatoes that we do these videos on, and we're just trying to be open-minded. We're not trying to be professionals. We're just trying to have a conversation with everyone and show how our personal experience is going. There's a couple of these though that, like this one right here, as soon as I took that bite, it was like, there it is. It was like an eye-opener once again. Every single season, as soon as I try the first peppers of this kind, it's like, why was I thinking any different? I should have just filled the whole yard full of this pepper right here alone and would have been perfectly happy. But this is the Jimmy Nardello pepper. It's July 23rd of 2024. An absolutely fantastic flavored pepper. Let them go red if you grow it to give it the best opportunity to get that sweet flavor in there. No bitterness, almost like a fruit, like a cherry, hint of cherry sweetness to it. The redder it is, the more that kicks on. And an excellent pepper. So I know that I recommend, if you haven't grown anything that we've grown, to at least give it a shot. If you have grown this one and it hasn't done well for you, I would say give this another shot still. It's just, for us, it's a new standard in the yard. We have to have certain peppers in the yard, and this one right here, when it came to what seeds we were going to plant early in the season, Angel was hands down, this was like one of the very first peppers she mentioned, hot or sweet, that wanted to go in there, which is kind of surprising because she also likes the Courbaki and a lot of other really, really good sweet types that just fell down the list farther. But this one right here is a must grow for us every single season. So Jimmy Nardello pepper. Anything else you want to say about it, Spirit?
No, I just really like this pepper and I recommend it.
Yeah, so it's a little funky. The flavor, the name, the typical style plant, it is a high producer, not a super high producer like a couple of these sweets, but it is really high in production, but above average for a pepper plant. And the name, the plant, a couple other things that just kind of shied us away from it. So sometimes you just gotta, you know what I mean? Buckle down, give it a shot, and now this is like at the top of our list. So it wouldn't. I don't know if it's my very favorite sweet pepper. I go on a bunch of different categories as far as flavor, though. This one's top dog right now. So we love you guys. I'll take you outside for one last look at the plant. UT Angel and Kiddo.
Thanks for watching.
All right, the Jimmy Nardello pepper, named after pepper growers that brought the seeds to the United States in 1887, and a really excellent sweet pepper. Not a lot really to say about it. I'm not a professional, so like a lot of times when I do these videos, they're just one takes, me just trying to relay a bunch of information that I can without making the video take too long. But got several more on here. Like I was saying, once you start getting them off, these ones they'll get a little bit bigger, then they'll start ripening pretty quick, and hopefully we can get some more flowering going without having to strip the whole thing down. When you do that, it kind of stresses the plant a little bit and inspires it to grow more flowers if the plant is put under a little bit of stress. And then also in waves and stuff, at the beginning of each season, we're always pulling the flowers off of these if it's starting to start too early before we've transplanted them and stuff like that. And then when we transplant them, we also top them and then also start stripping flowers down on them, because after those first few flowers, and then once you start producing some peppers, there's usually a few wonky peppers. Once you kind of get rid of those, peel those off of there, the waves that come, like the third and fourth waves of peppers and flowers that come, can really produce your plant. So if you're trying to push production, the best thing to do is to remove those flowers and wonky pods early in the season. This one right here, we had a good pod and we just kind of let it go, and so we got some other pods that kind of started, but we could have done a lot better with this plant. None of our grows are indicative of what you can do. If you were to grow this in a 5-gallon bucket yourself, you could quite possibly do better with it. We like growing in containers because we can also move them around, maybe not with tomatoes and bigger plants like that, but really love this pepper. Me and Angel's #1 for flavor on the sweet pepper varieties. I'd put it probably in my top 5 to 10 overall peppers, because there's lots of different reasons that I like peppers. When it comes to sweet peppers, this one sits in the top 3 to 5. So I would just off the cuff right now, my 3 favorite sweet peppers would probably be the lipstick, which we're going to be able to do a video on pretty soon, the Jimmy Nardello, and the Courbaki, in no order. But there is a case to be made for the Oda as well, probably in the top 5, and one like the typical or the traditional banana pepper. That one right there probably hits the top 5 either because of its growth pattern, things like that, rather than necessarily overall standout flavor. And that's no order either. That's just me throwing some random varieties out there in conversation. But we love you guys. We love growing these unique things and seeing them each year, and really just kind of soaking in the unique to keep momentum going and to have a lot of fun each season. Keeps us in the yard instead of out there and about spending money and doing other stuff, and really enjoy this time we get to spend with you guys. So July 23rd, 2024, the Jimmy Nardello pepper. Love you guys, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.